Hey guys, for all you gear nerds out there, I'm going to run through some of the instruments that are on my song Purple Sky and the reasons why I chose them. To start out, this is a Yamaha NX series. Nothing new here, everyone's seen a bunch of these in their time, I'm very sure. I do have a number of classical instruments, mostly more traditional styled, as I am a Royal Conservatory cat. That was my thing for a while. This was a very intentional choice to go with something that was much more muted, a little damper, thinner body, cutaway, just sounds a little smaller and a bit more intimate, which is really what we were going for with this track. We wanted it to be very raw, but not too pushed. Next up, we have by far the rarest and one of the most special guitars in my collection. And these days, one of my most used. This finds itself onto every recording that it would seem. You're probably wondering, what is it? This is an MJS Inukshuk. It is a one-of-one that the luthier Smitty at MJS, for those who don't know, Mike Smitty Smith, he's the man. If I'm correct, this guitar was originally built as a commission in 2004. It changed owners a couple times, passed a bunch of hands, and the long and the short of it is it ended up in mine. On loan, actually. He said, hey, I have this guitar, it needs to be played, just take it home and mess about with it while I'm fixing up one of the other ones. And I completely fell in love. That was the beginning of this love story. It has a pair of MJS, of course, split singles in it with a brass acoustic style bridge. And a fun fact, this piece of cedar is over 100 years old. Everything on this guitar came from Canada, hence the Inukshuk. So. Next up, we have what is probably my most prized possession. This is my one-of-one Music Man L3 in the Grapes of Wrath BFR finish. What makes this one-of-one, when these came out, there was a limited run, I can't remember how many units, and they had HH, 2 humbuckers in them. Not really my ideal setup for a pickup configuration. So I reached out to the guys at Ernie Ball and said, hey, what can you do for me? I was deciding between 2 guitars. This was going to be my custom, if you will. I said I really wanted to get either a Grapes of Wrath Luke in HSS configuration, or I wanted to go for a Valentine. And thankfully they came through and told me, yes, your wildest dreams can be realized. We'll do that for you. So 6 months later, this beautiful piece arrived at my doorstep. The first thing it did was make a trip down, before I'd even put in any hours on it, to MJS, where we had some custom pickups made. This guitar is nicknamed Peaceful. It suits it very well. These are extremely low output pickups, including a humbucker that is wired at, I believe, around 4.5K, which is, if you're familiar with your typical PAFs, wired anywhere from like 9 to 17K. This is extremely low. We have a little 7-way toggle. So we have our typical 5-way, works like a Strat, and then this position gives us the neck and the bridge together, which gives a very nice, oddly acoustic sound. And of course, any of your 2nd or 4th positions get all 3. So a bit of a variety, and you can push it. It will sound a bit like a PAF Thera Marshall, which is nice. Just gives you a bit of diversity. But again, for this track, very, very delicate, very much on the calm side and intimate, and it's going to bring out a lot of the transients you really want to hear.